This is the world of company secretaries. On this channel, you can watch interviews with company secretaries across the world. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon. So, next
Yeah,
is one question which is most interesting and very unique to you. That is, you moved to publication. So, after
yeah,
working as an associate with a very good practicing company secretary firm, you decided to get into Tax Sutra, that is Law Street India.com,
yeah,
their website. You even were one of the senior editors over there.
yeah,
So how did you make this move? How did that?
yeah,
Because very few people do this. That is why getting into
yeah,
academics and research, that too with a publication. Did you
yeah,
feel, is it the right decision? Should I do it? Please
yeah,
walk us through that.
yeah. So actually, it was not directly Tax Sutra. So after the company secretary firm, I worked with a chartered accountant firm because
Okay.
I wanted some more exposure on that front also, and I wanted to, explore like how a company secretary works in a CA firm. That was again one curiosity.
Uh-huh.
So then after that, working with a CA firm and a CS firm for quite a few years, then somehow I thought that I should get into teaching. So I was there with a private academy in Pune for around 3 years. So with an experience of, you can say, 3 and 3 broadly, just
Okay.
not three actually, but with a broad experience of some 6 to 7 years, I was into teaching as well. So I
Okay.
taught company law and intermediate and CS final courses at that point of time.
Sure.
So after that, you will not imagine the promoters of a company who were, not that very senior, but were still in contact with me through some social media and all. So that is Arun Giri and Amay Kunte. Both are chartered accountants, and they had started a venture of Tax Sutra. So at that point of time, the company which I incorporated when I was a trainee was now a company which was thinking of setting up a corporate law portal. They had
Okay.
set up a direct tax portal, they had set up an indirect tax portal, they had set up a TP portal, international taxation portal, quite a few portals and sub portals that they had. But then they were thinking of corporate law portal. So they like just contacted me, and I was also, you know, means I had tried a lot, as in like a CA firm, CS firm, teaching for 3 years, and there were some concerns in teaching in a private academy, growth wise and all. Probably I was
Yes.
not probably made for that, maybe, whatever, but still it happened in such a way that it was that firm which I incorporated, or a company that I incorporated, the promoters contacted, and then we started working on a project of setting up the it was setting up a corporate law portal. And it has been one of my exciting journeys with Tax Sutra, of setting up a portal. Like we know taxmen, we know Manu Patra, and we know quite a few websites,
Big
but
players. Yeah.
yeah, big players, but just to be behind it and ensuring that you are the you have to think from what the subscribers are going to need. So it was a very different thing to learn. So that was a very unique experience, and it took us almost 8 to 10 months to set up the portal. And to just give you a background, it was not only a company law portal. We had company law, we had securities law, we had foreign exchange laws, IP law, and competition law. And the only way to work on the portal was real time reporting. Even the name of the company is Real Time Tax Sutra. So if there is a judgment of say 150 pages, 40 pages, 10 pages, and it is a very important judgment, then you have to report it on a real time basis. So it was a bit of a legal journalism, I can say.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit more about your the role over there? Because this is
Yeah,
what is very unique in this today's interview.
yeah,
Nobody would have thought about getting into legal journalism, like you said. So what exact role was there? And
yeah,
like you can give an example of certain assignment so that
yeah,
somebody who is watching this can think about that as an option.
yeah. So basically, we already had a setup of tax portal. Like means first is having a team of around 3 to 4 people to start with, right? Then assigning roles, right? One role could be just for finding what is new in on the government websites, right? And then floating it in the team, like sending an email to the entire team that this is there, just writing a brief about what it is. Then I'm saying only for tax sutra per se,
Yeah.
because some other companies may have some other model. Then
Yes.
depending on how important it is, you have to schedule it in a day. So we used to schedule it in a day, and then somebody in the team who was going to draft it or review it used to work on that. And then simultaneously, this was just one thing. Then there were 20 things with that. Like it could be one could be an RBI order or RBI notification, SEBI order, or a SAT order, or a Supreme Court order. There could be a compat order. That time it was compat. Then CII order. Then you had a we used to send, and even they send presently something in the morning. They send LSI news roundup. So
Yes.
everything of today morning, whatever is reported in the business newspapers, you
Latest
have to report.
development. Yeah.
Yeah, latest development. So morning, it was a feature of a morning feature. We used to work
So,
like that.
like you said, it is like journalism and quite
Yeah,
challenging. And you
yeah,
can't go wrong because many people, thousands of people subscribing will
correct,
depend on what is written. And it is also not layman, it is the company secretary, chartered accountants, lawyers will be referring to this. So, you
correct,
just
correct,
can't go wrong. So, it must have been
correct.
quite exciting, also a very good experience for you.
Yeah. So what we used to do, like we used to summarize that, and it was not only summarizing and uploading on the portal. Okay. Then we used to go to the email of that, and then we used to send it to the subscribers. So what I learned in this firm or in this company was setting up a portal, thinking from the subscriber perspective. Then the another aspect was look and feel of the website, how to prepare a website, right? Then sending mailers to the audience, right? And keeping it very appropriate time for that means I cannot miss out on time. Time was also an essence for reporting, right? Like if something has to go at 11, it has to go at 11. So we were required to prepare at 10:55. Then internet down, hotspot and everything. So we were also required to be tech savvy, right? And 11 means 11. If not 11, then we used to get, my boss used to call me, or somebody from the team, and like it was that important. And I really understood the importance of time for reporting at that point of time. And it was a very good experience. Means I enjoyed working. Actually, I enjoy working. Whatever I've enjoyed, whatever I've done, I've enjoyed. So it is nothing
No,
that
we
I've
can
not.
only we can only imagine the pressure for newspapers for
Yeah, absolutely.
after this experience of what you're sharing.
Correct,
Just
correct.
for newspaper or any sort of journalism, the pressure of making sure that it is on that date, that time, and it should be accurate. It has to be
Accurate.
authentic. It
Yeah,
can't be whatever our opinions. It has to be, especially in legal matters, it has to be what the law is and whatever
true,
judgment it is, should be
true, true.
accurate. So I think that is really interesting.
Yeah,
So once you were doing that, did you think that you want to do that for the rest of the time, or did you
yeah.
feel okay? This is I want to stop this after some time. What were your ideas that time?
Not actually. I wanted to means what I was doing with Tax Sutra was I was also teaching simultaneously. Means I used to go to colleges. I used to go to ICSI, or if nothing, like if there was no teaching event, I used to go and attend. So either I was an audience or I was a trainer, something of that sort. So all
Okay.
my Saturdays pre-COVID was just learning Saturdays. So I used to go anywhere. I used to go to Bombay. I used to go to Aurangabad. I used to go to and ICSI events, and I used to attend. Now over a period of time, then I was sometimes called as a faculty by ICSI. So
So talking about reading books, we have to bring this up. That is, you have written books yourself, and
yeah,
also you have assisted a very great author, one of my favorite, Dr. K.R. Chandratre sir. So
yeah,
can you first tell us, before we go to Chandratre sir, if you can tell us, how did you get the idea that yes, you can write good books, and what is the process of writing a book? Briefly, if you can share with us, because there
yeah,
could be people who are watching this who have this idea in the future.
yeah. Actually, Dr. K.R. Chandratre sir is favorite of every company secretary in India.
Yes,
And I cannot tell how I write a book without mentioning the reference of Dr. K.R. Chandratre. So I should tell how what I worked with him, and then I can tell what I have done for the book. So
sure.
when I was teaching in the private academy, at that point of time, I had free time because it was only teaching and preparing for the teaching. And that time it was not online or YouTube or anything. It was just one-to-one teaching, and I didn't have a very big class of 50, 60, 100. It was a very small class, manageable class, and students were all understanding. So and also, like, they were smart also, like they were intelligent also. So what happened is that at that point of time I started working with sir Chandratre sir on few of his books. And it there was one book I remember. We started working, it was company secretarial practice manual. We started working somewhere in 2012, and it had 56 chapters, and it was a big book. 56 chapters means probably in two volumes the book was there. And I was just about to complete the book, and the entire act changed. So it was like, and the my work was to update the book. So if the last publication was of, I don't know, but maybe if it was of 2008 and we are in 2013, then I was required to update for all the 5 years in the book, for everything, circulars, notification, rules, judgments, whatever. So I have to bring it in the book and change the procedure, what has changed and what has not. And I completed around 50-52 chapters, and the act changed. And I was meeting sir and all, and it was a time where the act was not being stable considering the rules and notification. So we took a break of some time, few years actually. But the work of 52 chapters didn't go ahead for some time. Then obviously it is Chandratre sir, so he thought of getting a book on secretarial audit. So it was the first year of secretarial audit, and just before the secretarial audit, the 31st of March, somewhere in the month of Feb, I remember. It was Feb 2014 when he launched a book on secretarial audit and compliance manual. So that time I got an opportunity to work on that book. Then I worked on all about private companies. I worked on transfer transmission of shares. These are books, big books of sir. Then I worked on a few books, guide to directors. I worked on one book on insider trading. Quite a few books, means sometimes I lose the count, or I so much enjoy the work that probably I may miss out on a book. So that helped me a lot because I was understanding what sir is understanding, like what is the reader understanding, what does he want, which case law, how it is to be drafted, how it is to be summarized, how it is to put, where to put that, what should be the sequence. So that helped me a lot. And it would have definitely gone some 10 to 12 books that I have assisted sir. And I'm very grateful to sir for his support, or thinking me appropriate person for assisting him in the books.
Yeah,
So
what
I'm very
is
grateful.
particularly great as a reader, if I have to tell in
Yeah,
Chandratre sir's books, is
yeah,
that the language is so simple. He makes the law so simple. I remember reading even as a student. As a
yeah,
student, we really did not need that for exam, but the books used to be so beautiful.
yeah.
It was almost like reading a novel or something like that, and so simple. The
Correct,
language,
correct.
and he also brought some new concepts like drafting in plain English. All
Exactly.
these things were really amazing and nice to know. So how did that experience with
Yeah.
Dr. Chandratre sir help you decide that, okay, even I can write a book, and the process
Yeah.
of writing books?
Yeah, so I basically understood quite a few books, and like what is required, means since I and at a latter point of time I used to read his old publications. If I worked on the fifth edition, I used to read the third edition. If I worked on the sixth edition, I used to read the second edition. So I used to think how he has traveled as an author, right? Because I know what is written in the second edition and what is there in the sixth edition. So that gave me some idea. Then I had also interacted with Bharat Law and few other publications because of sir's reference and sir's guidance. And then I interacted, and then there were, see, in company law presently what has happened is company law has become in compartmentalized, what I can say, that CSR is one big rule of CA, one thing of CSR. It is a book in itself. SBO
Exactly.
entirely, RPT entirely, loans, investment, security guarantee entirely. So what I thought at that point of time, let's try to do something latest on company law. And that time I started working on a book which was Companies Amendment Act 2017. That was my first experience or first experiment on that. And I thought, and I structured the book in the way that what is the amendment, what is the previous law, what is the company law committee saying about the law, and what is its impact, or how will it affect the practitioners and company is in employment. So that is how I drafted the book, because it was the big one of the biggest amendments to the company law in 2017 2018. So
Okay.
right, so if you ask me about the process of writing a book, it is a patience testing process, because to give some idea, first we have to prepare a 10 to 15 pages note, a detailed note of what the book is about, who is the audience, what chapters you are going to cover, what about the author, what will be the coverage of the book, what are the which existing books are there in the market. So you have to make a detailed note of everything, right? Then why this book is required, right? So it is like a concept paper, or it is like, you have to, this is like a letter of recommendation, like accept this, okay. Then you have to prepare one sample chapter, right? And then you have to find out a publisher. It is like having a movie script but finding a producer. You have to go and find out a publisher. Then you have to send him and ask him. Probably you can find out few connects, but sometimes your contacts may not work, because it is ultimately a publishing agency. So therefore
Yes.
our quality is required, right? At the most the reference can give you, okay, you can go here, but to sustain there you need to have that quality.
Quality.
Yeah. So then you have
Hmm.
to submit. Then it takes around 2 to 3 weeks, because they keep getting requests from quite a few professionals, and your concept should be good enough, and you should be ready to, like, based on that. Then they tell you, okay, you can start the work on the remaining chapters and all. Then there is some legal procedure of entering into agreement. Then there are some timelines defined. Then there is a quality check to that. Plagiarism is there. There are a lot of things. Publication is an industry in itself, and it's a
Exactly.
good journey.
No, good that you just gave a small sneak peek into publication. And whoever's watching this, I'm sure they would not have known most of it. And it was quite interesting.